Alan Watts.
Yeah.
So Alan Watts is very similar to Dan Harris in the sense of being able to translate Eastern philosophies to a Western audience.
Yeah.
And he is a famous philosopher that really got his start. Was it the 50s that he I think it was the 50s.
50s.
And then I know he died like in 70 something. But
he wasn't very old either.
He was like 40 something. Yeah. We're going to discredit him immediately by saying how he died, but he died from alcoholism. And to me, that's further reinforcement that it's the worst drug of all time. I know it's controversial because people love their alcohol, and I'm not the type that thinks we should stop you from making those decisions.
No.
But I think we should have people maybe look at the effects of that decision more.
And at the end of the day, he's a human with
He was
flaws.
a human, yes. And my argument is that he was very enlightened in a period of very sleepy people.
Yeah.
And so when you're very enlightened in a world of sleepers, or the Sims or NPCs or whatever the fuck that I like to call them, and I don't mean that in any disrespectful way, but it is what it is. I find that could be very isolating. It's lonely at the top, and I could see where he would drink himself to death from being kind of depressed at the state of the world and realizing, oh man, it's so simple. If we just made these changes, these subtle little things that would make the world a difference, yet no one wants to do it.
Dude, he has this remarkable way of just breaking down and simplifying everything. The biggest takeaway I took from Alan Watts was like, the mystery of life is not a problem to be solved. It's just a reality to be experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And the meaning of life is just to fucking be alive. Mm-hmm. Just enjoy it. Don't complicate it.
Exactly. You have to just enjoy the ride. And that was something that I've learned on numerous trips. I've learned on mushrooms that everything's the way it's supposed to be, and that it's all going according to plan.
Exactly.
That was one part. And then I learned on DMT that the point of the ride is to enjoy the ride and not to try to analyze it or throw a bunch of meaning on it or translate it. The more you do that, the more confused you will be, and the more isolated you will be from society. It's like you can't do that. You're going to end up not knowing how to function here. Like at the end of the day, I still have to go to my job. I still got to go do my normal things, even if I have these amazing epiphanies about life and existence in the universe. Yeah. It's like you do still have to come back to reality and live in this world.
Yeah. And I think that he says that the problems that people run into and the suffering that people run into is trying to separate themselves from every situation. Mm-hmm. So like if you are in pain or in an uncomfortable situation, if you're trying to bring the I out of that, then that's where you're going to suffer, because the I really is kind of an illusion, and you just are whatever it is. And he has this amazing way. He has a really good video talking about the yin and the yang on YouTube.
Yes.
And
I showed you that.
Yeah, he did. And he has a book called The Book, on the taboo against knowing your true self. And he just breaks down existence into like the yin and the yang, and so basically like you can't breathe without having an atmosphere, and the atmosphere exists relationally to something else. You can't walk without gravity and without like a ground to support you and all of that. So like, and this kind of goes into Zen Buddhism, is everything just kind of is. It's all relationships, even down to like the microscopic level.
Totally.
So that completely blew my mind.
Things only exist in relation to one another.
Right.
And that's where like you can't have the push without the pull. You can't have the hot without the cold.
Yeah. You can't separate yourself from
the world around you.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't. You only exist as part of it. Yeah.
You're it. You are an expression of the universe. You are the waves in the ocean and the ocean at the same time.
Exactly. And you're also the shore that you crash upon, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's like, and then, I mean, just in general, just realizing, I guess when you realize the interdependent nature of everything and how everything is so interconnected, it makes you realize the certain things that you, like doors of opportunity that you can now go through, because you realize that that's what they are. You know, somebody comes into your life, that's an invitation to a whole world of decisions that might be worth it or might not.
Yeah.
But when you open that door, then it's creating a whole new branch of reality on how it can play out for you.
Totally.
And realizing that every time that you meet somebody could be the next major step. Like, you don't know the people that you meet. Somebody you meet on the train, just have a cool conversation with. You don't know that in 6 months you're going to rerun into that person, and that person's going to end up being the key to something. Like, you don't know. You got to treat everyone like they're the key.
Yeah.
And when you do treat everyone like they're the key, not everyone's going to be the key, but you'll get better at recognizing, the right ones from the wrong ones, and then you'll get better at making those decisions in the moment and being like, you know what? Let's see where this goes.